Hello, Dr. Ross here. Welcome back to the channel. This is a Ford 5.0 EFI motor from the mid-90s. And not only do we have a check engine code, but we've had leaky valve cover gaskets for a long time. To do anything on this motor, there's all this stuff you got to take off the top of it. You get this huge intake and all this stuff has to be removed to do the simplest thing like a valve cover gasket. Well, that's what we're going to do. We're just about to get into it. I'll be right back. I'm going to go ahead and get the hood off. It really makes it a lot easier than dealing with it if you've got it inside, and it's going to let a lot of light in. It seems like a big hassle, but it's really not. Let's just disconnect the battery first. Right off the bat, get this out of the way. Grab a Sharpie and make a halo around each of the hinge bolts on the hinge and on the hood around the hinge itself. Then we're going to be able to put it right back and get it lined up where it was. All right. As I take this hood off, I've got to support the weight. First, I'll get the springs loose. The springs just come loose like that, and I'm just going to lay down here. Whoa, that one jumped a little bit. Only 2 more bolts holding it. Not going to go all the way out on them. Starting to slide back against the body here. Obviously, an old ranch truck, I'm not too worried about scratching it up, but there's no reason to go and scratch it up on purpose. So, what I'm going to do here is put some fabric in between the hood and the cowl for the hood to rest on. Just a little bit of one bolt holding it now. I don't want to lose it. Alright, so I took all the wheels off so I could get it right down on the ground. I got the throttle body off of the front here. 4 3/8 screws into this cast aluminum intake, which wants to hold on to steel screws, but soaked them overnight with plaster. This is the coil assembly. It sits right back there next to the intake over that valve cover. We're going to document where some of these wires go and get some of these hoses and wires out of the way. Okay, there's seems to be 6. 2 in the front, 2 in the back, 1 here. And this one down here in the middle is the one that's a real problem. It's got a little Allen top on it. It's a 5mm socket, and all I have is a 1/4-inch drive. Okay, and there you go, the socket's on it. Came loose. There it is. So 5 of them are a regular 13, and that one is an Allen because it's so narrow between that passage right there. This little ratchet is sure handy. 3/8 drive. It just fits in tight spaces in the palm of your hand. The trouble I'm having is this here is attached to it, and I can't get it free from the other part of the manifold, so I was hoping it would slip back and off of this. Okay. Why so much oil in the intake? I've been needing to do valve cover gaskets for a long time. In fact, I bought the gasket kit probably a couple of years ago, but it's so deep down in there to get to them that I've been putting it off. But then recently, I got a check engine code and I started getting a misfire. And the engine code was the evap system. So along with the misfire, it kind of points to the EGR valve. This thing is been on here for a long time. It was on there when I bought it. So we're definitely going to do that. I also suspected the PCV valve. Both of those things, probably the EGR valve would account for all this excess oil that was going through the intake. Probably account for the code and the increased oil consumption and the misfire. So while we're going this deep, we're going to do those valve cover gaskets. I'm going to do new plugs and wires just because it's such a pain to get this far down in. But I'm definitely going to order a new EGR valve and pipe, I think. Perhaps a coil. The coil is a known weakness on this system, and I haven't had any trouble with it. But again, being this far into it, might be wise to get one of those too. Get this up here out of the way. I'm having so much trouble getting these spark plug wires off the spark plugs. Just pull and pull and you can't get it. So I've got this screwdriver that has a bent tip on it. And when I reach in and I get that, I can grab there and also pull with my left hand while I got the screwdriver pulling on the rubber with my right hand. And I was able to get them popped off a little easier that way. Especially if you want to save the wire and use it again, because I feel like I'm ruining it having to pull on it so hard. This method works pretty good. There. Now we can get this wiring harness up out of the way. Let's make sure we don't lose these little gaskets that are from the inside of the plug on the injectors. When I'm pulling them off, I'm getting them stuck to the injector. Put them back inside the plugs. Got these cleaned up pretty good. One thing that happens is as the bolts tighten in there with the gasket in them, it can push this flange out a little bit, and that'll make it not want to seal if all these little bolt holes are pooching down this way. So there's a little process where you can take the round end of a ball peen hammer and use that to push the area right around the bolt hole back. So for this process, we just want to place this on the edge of the bench with the lip there. We want to use the round part of the ball peen hammer right on that hole. And basically, just trying to flatten that or push that back up into the lip so that it doesn't stick out. We don't want to go too far and overstretch the metal. We just want to dimple it back in where it's supposed to be. There will be some opinions here about what color of RTV to use, about whether or not to use RTV on this gasket at all, on what kind of gasket material I should be using. There's choices. Go ahead and comment on the video. Everybody needs to do their research and decide what works best for them. And I have gray on hand. Would it be better to go get some black? Maybe. Like I said, we can debate that here if you want. But at the end of the day, there's lots and lots of options. Now, I have bought some cork gaskets, and I'm going to glue them on with a thin coat. I'm going to use a NGK custom plug wire set made for this truck and the G-Power spark plugs. I like the custom wires. These are top quality wires, and the best thing about them is they are numbered for which cylinder they're cut and built for. The torque spec on the spark plug is 10 to 15 pound. This is an inch-pound torque wrench, so I have it set on 160. These ones with the pin locator on top of the bolt hold the fuel injection rail. Not the fuel injection rail, the wiring harness for the fuel injectors. Dabble of dielectric grease. It's going to keep the corrosion out. How great is this? The NGK spark plug wires come numbered. The top of the distributor cap has a number 1 right here embossed on it. So that's cylinder 1. And the Bronco has a firing order sticker. Couldn't be easier. This is interesting. I don't remember seeing this before, but they want the wires routed a certain way to keep from crossfiring. I'm pretty sure that the EGR valve was the source of my problems. And also, I'm not sure what's going on with this pipe. If it looks like it's been brazed or repaired, I don't know if it's holding air. And this would not tighten up anymore in the manifold. And I cannot get it apart there. So it was very hard to get the intake off. So I've got a brand new one. This is the pipe and the new EGR valve and gasket. So I'm pretty sure that's going to take care of the code problem. And as soon as I get that in, I've got my new gasket kit now. The torque spec is 12 to 20. So I'm going to set my inch-pound torque wrench at 180 or 190. That's all I'm willing to go. I had to drill out the holes on that graphite gasket. It's not cool. All right, so the new pipe is tightened down in the manifold, but there's just a little bit of play in there. And I'm really hoping I can get this hooked up without that coming loose. Oh man, it doesn't line up. So, well, I'm going to want that tight first. Ugh. And there's one bolt down here that holds the support bracket for this, and the trans fluid dipstick is also bracketed on there. All right, I got all the wires hooked back up and all the vacuum hoses, all the air pipe, topped off all the fluids, and we're ready to give it a shot. Oh, she sounds good. That worked out great. Running smooth. Put the hood back on, get the wheels back on, and get out on the highway, see how she runs. Oh yeah, that worked out great. All right, well, we've got it all done and it's running like a champ. I sure appreciate you hanging out with me. If you enjoyed that, hit like and subscribe, share it with others so everybody can join the family. We really appreciate you hanging out, and I'll see you in the next video. And there we go. Down again. That time I heard it hit concrete.